We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, welcome to the meeting of the Marion School Board. If anyone from the public would like to speak, please complete one of the green comment cards at the back of the room and give it to the board clerk, Ms. Hatfield. There's also a list of reminders regarding the rules for public participation on the back table. Please review those prior to commenting. We will begin with the consent agenda. 25-118, minutes of the regular meeting held on June 10th, 2025. 25-119, personnel report. 25-120, expenditure approval list. 25-121, financial reports. 25-122, acceptance of donation. Do we have any members of the public who are here to speak?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Superintendent Lockwood, do you have a recommendation?
President Solano, I recommend that the board approve with one motion and one vote the consent agenda items 25-118 through 25-122 as presented.
Is there a motion?
So moved. I'll second.
Thank you. Our discussion items tonight, Superintendent Lockwood will answer any questions on our various board policies. Do you want to talk about them a little bit? Sure. Oh. Sorry, I'm like,
I was going to start talking.
okay, yes, we've got a motion and a second. We can have a roll now. Please do.
Not being recorded.
Yeah.
Mrs. Bindo?
Aye.
Mrs. Gall?
Aye.
Dr. Hart?
Aye.
Mr. Griffin?
Aye.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Ms. Solano?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, now we have discussion items. We have a number of different board policies. Superintendent Lockwood, would you like to talk about?
We do have a lot of board policies that were in your packet. Some of these, you're going to see there is one on the display of the flag and the Pledge of Allegiance. This policy is completely new and it was required by law. There's another policy on the moment of silence. This one is also a new policy that is required by law. We have a policy that deals with the least restrictive environment, which is also a new policy that is required by law. Policy on training and health precautions for communicable diseases. Once again, a brand new policy that is required by law. And then the next one, title is Surveys, Analysis, Evaluations, Right to Inspect Certain Materials. This is a view of the current the board members got a view of the current policy and changes that needed to be made to update to align with changes in the legislature. And then the last one is educational surrogate parent. There were some updates made to that. Homeless student enrollment and rights. You guys were able to look at our current and some updates that we were made to that. So I don't know if you've got any questions. I just kind of wanted to go over what policies were included in this update. I think that at times you're going to see more and more, especially since we have new legislation that goes into effect. And as we are trying to update some of our older versions of our policies to get them more current.
Yep. Do we have any questions from the board?
It didn't seem to be anything major, some small tweaks and some ideas and how things are worded, basically. Is that what you saw?
No, absolutely. There was nothing major that was changed in any of those. I think that's why you see so many of them here. They're pretty normal policies. Some of them are brand new. We really didn't have a choice in those. The other ones were just minor changes or things that were taken out. And some of that's just due to time period of when they were last updated. So if there are any major changes in any policies we have, we won't have so many of them at one time.
You made the comment these are required by law. Are these laws or are these rules from the Department of Education?
They're just school policies that are recommended to be put into school policies.
So they're not law,
I guess what
Some
I'm
of them,
trying to-
honestly, I know they are because there's a legal reference to them down. So there are, like, if you look at them on the display of the flag and the Pledge of Allegiance, it's Indiana Code 20-30-5-0.5. So they are out of Indiana Code and they are requirements.
Okay. I read through all the policies, and I can see how they'd be quite useful.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to refer to the moment of silence. I don't have the policy in front of me. If you have it, could you read it out loud, the moment of silence, please?
Says, in order that the right of each student to the free exercise of religion is guaranteed and the freedom of each student is subject to the least possible coercion from the state either to engage in or refrain from religious observation on school grounds, there shall be a daily observance of a moment of silence in each classroom or on school grounds of each school in the school corporation. During the moment of silence, the teacher responsible for a classroom shall ensure that all students remain seated or standing and silent during the moment of silence, and the students make no distracting display, so that each student may, in the exercise of the student's individual choice, meditate, pray, or engage in any other silent activity that does not interfere with, distract, or impede another student in the exercise of the student's individual choice. This moment of silence is not intended to be and shall not be conducted as a religious exercise. This policy precludes students from using the occasion to pray audibly or otherwise speak singly or in unison. Building principals and teachers must not allow or tolerate any coercion or overbearing by anyone to force other students to engage in or refrain from prayer or any other permitted activity under this policy. The student code of conduct applies to disrupting behavior during a moment of silence in the same manner as provided for in other circumstances of such behavior. The legal reference in this is Indiana Code 20-30-5-4.5.
Okay. Will the faculty and administrators explain to the students, sort of instruct them what the purpose is of the moment of silence?
Yes, I'm going to be honest with you, though. I don't think we have a lot of issues with moment of silence. Usually when we do the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence, our kids are pretty respectful. I have not, now, am I going to sit here and say we've never ever had a problem? I can't say that, but for the most part, I've not heard of any issues coming up with this. Our kids, I think, are just kind of used to the process of doing the Pledge of Allegiance. We have some that participate, don't participate. We can't force kids to participate, but we can say they've got to sit quietly, and I don't know that there's been a lot of occasions. But yes, we can tell them that they can have a talk with the kids to let them know the purpose of the moment of silence.
And they can say to the students, you may choose to meditate, you may choose to pray, you may choose to just be quiet. You're free to do any of the above.
I really honestly think, Dr. Hart, that our kids do understand that. I think that this has kind of been unwritten ever since the moment of silence started. I mean, we've been doing it forever.
For decades in American schools.
So,
when I was in elementary school, we said the Pledge of Allegiance, we had a moment of silence. It's just something in this district that you just grew up doing, and you knew that was your time. If you wanted to say a prayer to start your day, you did. If you didn't, you just stood there and respected the other people. I think it's a non-issue across the board. We've already been doing this.
I would agree with that, and it always makes you wonder, do they put policies like this in place because there's been an issue? I don't think we've had an issue with anybody trying to press religious anything on anybody. It's just been a moment of silence, and I think that's been pretty well kind of verbalized to people, and we just haven't had a lot of issues with it.
Yeah, I know that the moment of silence is a replacement for the public prayer that went on 50 years ago. That's fine. It's just important to me that the teacher is able to say to the students, these are the things you can do during the moment of silence. And by the way, is the moment of silence 2 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds?
They usually do it over announcements. I would say it's probably 5 to 10 seconds.
I mean, honestly, Doc, every meeting we've had in this room,
We do a
what
moment of
you
silence.
do here is what they do in the classroom
Yeah.
every day.
Okay. I'm asking these questions because, and I'm very happy to hear, Alan, that this has been a standard procedure and students can do whatever they wish during those 5 to 10 seconds. It's just important to me that that we're not in a situation where the instructions are against religion.
Oh, absolutely. I don't ever think, no, I would agree with that.
Because our students who come to us come from religious backgrounds, whether they're Christians or Muslims or Jews or atheists or non-religion. They have something. And I want them to recognize that this is a part of life.
And I think you can see that in the clubs and the things that we do have in this system that back up what you're saying.
And I will tell you too, the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence, I think in every building is done in unison across the building on the announcements in the morning.
And every sporting event.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like it's left up to teachers to do it in their classrooms individually. That's done like over the announcements in unison, so, but no, the policies will be shared so that the teachers will know that they can share this.
Thank you.
Do we have any public comments tonight?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Mary Teachers Association.
It's hot, stay hydrated.
Amen.
Superintendent Lockwood.
I ditto to the it's hot, stay hydrated. Especially for our students that are out doing athletics still. I know moratorium's coming up soon, but I do want to share an appreciation to our teachers and our staff and our students who attended summer school. I know our summer school numbers were up tremendously. We averaged about 230 to 270 kids a day. We had a lot of great learning opportunities for our kids. We've got a couple of STEM robotics camps that will happen also in July. I do want to say I was on the radio Monday morning and they asked about summer school. Used to have that stigma that kids that weren't showing proficiency or were struggling or maybe failed a class are the only kids that ever went to summer school. And we are trying to change the way people view summer school, and that we do have a lot of extended options that are available for kids, and we're trying to make even those learning opportunities with some hands-on experiences as well, so that we can get our kids into a lot of different things and get to utilize a lot of different things, maybe even to help them make choices with class selections and things like that when they get older. So it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of planning, and I just appreciate those administrators and those teachers that put that time in to do that for our kids.
Thank you. Any board comments?
Yeah, I want to start out, I want to congratulate also the teachers that worked for the summer school program this year, and the amount of kids and students that showed up to participate in that, and it's wonderful to hear that. Also, in following with what we've been trying to do is announce the donations that Marion Community Schools have accepted from the public, showing how much public support our school system really gets. I'll start out here. Psychedelic Center donated $100 to Mu Alpha Theta. Complete Glass Solutions donated $100 to Mu Alpha Theta. Shook Insurance and Financial Services, $100 to Mu Alpha Theta. Builders Mart of Wabash, $100 to Mu Alpha Theta. Expert Services LLC, $100 to Mu Alpha Theta. And somebody that's new to the community here, Alan and Christy Beck family donated $500 to MHS Wrestling, which is just amazing. And that brings the total so far just 6 months of the year to $84,543.60. So that's the amount of support we get from the public. I just want to say thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. And I'll just add on, this is in addition to all of the volunteer hours that Mr. Beck clearly puts in on behalf of wrestling, and that definitely shows in their excellence. They've done really, really well.
Also, yeah, I would like to also thank Alan for all his volunteer work. That's priceless. So thank you so much, and for the donation, for all the donations for our Marion Community Schools. And thanks the teachers, everybody who participated in summer school. That's really awesome. The numbers that we've had and the feedings of the students and families for the summer. That's just awesome. So make sure they know that. Thank you.
I want to acknowledge, we had 2 track participants in the Indiana All-Star track meet. I know when you're in some sports, you get this huge banner in the gymnasium every time you have an Indiana All-Star, but we have had 3 students in the last 2 years now that have been a track Indiana All-Star, and I think we sometimes, being an all-sport kind of in some ways, you lose sight of how big a deal that really is. So we've had some great athletes putting in a lot of time and effort, and one of them will be back next year, and one of them's graduating. So, but
What are their names?
Elijah McGruder and Mike Harrington.
Yeah.
I've only grown up from it for 20 years now. My mind got put on the spot. But yeah, the 2 of them have worked really hard, and then my son actually was an Indiana All-Star last year and participated in that event. So we're going to be sad to see the 2 of them leave, but we're excited that there's other people carrying the torch. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, okay.
Sorry. I want to bring up one more announcement about the food program. If you have not signed up and would like to sign up for the food program, I do encourage you to either contact our food services or to go online and sign up for that. We have gotten some really tremendous feedback on that. I do know in the first week of sending out, we did send it out on a holiday weekend. It was Juneteenth weekend, so there were some delays, but we have gotten so much positive feedback about the food that people are receiving and just the notifications that they are getting from the company that's delivering this. So the more people that we can get to take part in this, then the better we can make the program. And we are fortunate to be able to partner with somebody that's pretty local, being in Anderson, that is delivering the food on their own and doing such great communication with our people. So I just want to kind of put that out there. I think we have all in the school system have gotten different positive feedback from a lot of people, so that's good to hear. So kudos to Teal and her team for working on that as well. I need to say that.
And just to go back on that, we're encouraging people to take part in this because overall, the more people that do participate, it does help the overall system, correct?
Yes.
Because I know I've talked with a lot of parents that are concerned they don't want to take it because they don't want to take food from people that need it, and that's not the way this is set up. We're encouraging parents and families of all backgrounds to take advantage of this opportunity for their kids that have even just some different snacks and foods and things in their house over the summertime.
There is absolutely enough. Everybody in the corporation wanted to participate, so there's no limit on it.
Is it on the website so people can?
Yes, it is, and they can get into it through Infinite Campus on the parent portal as well. So, and if you have any issues, please feel free to call in and we can help you maneuver through that if you need help.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Such a successful start to the summer. You know, as of course educators, you'll know so much work goes in over the summer. You know, you say you're taking off, but you're really preparing and laying groundwork and all of that. The summer school is such a huge success. The food program, all of that. So many thanks. It's a good start. Yeah. Any other comments or business? Okay, well, thank you, everyone. Our next meeting will be here, July 8th, 2025 at 6:30. Thank you, everyone.